Happy Friday from Orlando. Thank you, Ken, for taking the video this morning. So I'm here in Orlando because the Lean In leaders, some of us are getting together tomorrow for the first self-organized, unofficial Lean In conference gathering that isn't in California. And we are a small group who could actually come here to California, and a larger group who could come internationally via video conferencing. And I'm excited to see the people, two of the people I'm in a weekly chat with, and so I'm excited to see them in particular, and Maybelline, who's here in Orlando, and Elisa, who's coming from New Jersey. So excited to see people who can come and people who can come internationally. So it will be really a great day. We have a lot to share with each other, and a lot of people have stepped up to make it happen. And there's so much that's going to help our August gathering. So that's great. And I'm proud in particular that I made some videos this week encouraging people to come. So I was like, make some Facebook Lives, and I did that. Another project that I'm excited about is the Lean In Foundation in California has created a LinkedIn group for company leaders. So I took some time this week to invite the connections that I've made in Lean In as well. And then the last project I'll talk about is I am part of a conference organizing team for the Midwest Worksite Health Promotion Conference. So I often talk about just a lot about Lean In, but I also really do care about bringing public health workers, inspiring health promoters together in the Twin Cities. And so this conference that's focused on worksite health is the one that I have the most influence on. And I'm really excited that Nancy Lyons is the keynote speaker. And I've been joking with people that my work in public health is done for the year when she agreed to do it. But when we gathered to finalize the conference sessions this week, I think like 2 or 3 people in the committee were like, well, Linda should be leading one of these sessions. And so they basically brainstormed and came up with a session and designed it and said, okay, Linda, you should be doing a book group, and the book will be this, and then they were talking later about how they can get students more connected to ongoing professionals. So I created a LinkedIn group for us to have as part of the book group, and it's going to have a in-person component. And so I'm just really excited, and you know, it's just an honor to have that. My colleagues in public health think, oh, you should be leading something, and then make it happen without my needing to do anything. And then because life is not all sunshine and roses, I actually got some pretty negative feedback this week at my job about the way that, let's see, maybe just how my style of communication is different from a lot of my coworkers, where I'm a little more direct, and they basically want me to adopt a particular style that I'm, as I've been thinking about the last few days, like say yes and rather than more oppositional or kind of contrary. And that's been an ongoing issue, but it was so great to have this big support at the same time as I was getting this other feedback. And then I always talk about inspiring people, and I've kind of been alluding to values the last few times, Brene Brown's value exercise, and my top values I think I mentioned before are cooperation and generosity, and I do find that is absolutely true. The things I want to tell people about usually have those 2 elements. But when April Seifert, who does Women Inspired podcast, was doing a really great webinar with Leslie, who does Mom's Hierarchy of Needs, they did an exercise based on values, and I noticed that if you look beyond just my top 2 values, growth, health, and inclusion are my next 3 values, and that's a lot of what my daily activities are related to, and definitely related to this bridging project. So it was cool to see that they're thinking about values, I'm thinking about values, given that life is pretty overwhelming for a lot of us. That was really cool. And then I'll say 2 more people at the airport. Ken and I were in transit yesterday, and a woman came up to us, Danny, with just a very compelling, strong life story where she's gotten through really hard things in her life and now is really stepping out and taking that hard struggle and using it to move people forward. So Danny, and then the other man who I spent a lot of time with yesterday is Thaddeus. And Ken and I both got to know him and to see all his strengths. He kind of gave us some suggestions around how we can, an attitude toward each other and toward life. So really powerful connecting that happens in those unusual, just from North Orlando here, unusual connections that you get. So all the bridging that traveling provides. And the other thing is generosity. And my mom in particular is taking care of Mac. And so in this snowy day, I'm sure the two of them are going to have some adventures. And I'll end by saying I really appreciate everybody who stepped up to help with the Lean-In Conference. Ken is coming along for his fifth Lean-In trip. And so it's great to have his support. Besides taking the video, he just makes things go better in general. Thank you. Bye. That's it.